3 drug dealers have been busted after police hacked into the EncroChat system. Messages between the men showed they were in contact with the head of the group, known only by his code names First Sandman and Sandman.com. Jordan Dobbie, who was also known as Free Rolex 2, acted underneath him, with Tony Mendes, also known as Katsuhone, and Stuart Anderson, known as Reebok 1, acting as employees. Both Mendes and Anderson were in regular contact with First Sandman and would meet up with customers to drop off and receive cash and drugs. Dobbie was 31 years old, and another man, known as Prizefire, were in charge of organising and arranging the collections and delivery of the drugs. Between March the 20th and June the 30th, 2020, messages were uncovered following the Europe-wide hack into EncroChat, a system used exclusively by crime groups to plan criminal activities. From these messages, Greater Manchester Police were able to track down the men and execute search warrants at each of their homes. They found designer clothing, expensive jewellery, tens of thousands in cash, and vans with secret hiding spots that allowed them to move the drugs and cash without detection. Mendes' house in Burnley was first searched on June the 16th, during which he told officers, "I am not a drug supply person." The prosecutor, Neil Fryman, said a grey Citroen van was discovered, which was empty but had a hidden compartment specially made beneath the floor. From the messages from Katsuon, he was known to have a hidden stash in his van. Various items of paraphernalia, including an encrypted device, a vacuum sealer, and a box of vacuum packs, were discovered. Other cash was found in various parts of the house, including Scottish £5 notes. A £5 note was used as a token of proving identity of the individual who was transporting the items in connection with the conspiracy. Officers also found a cash counting machine, various other amounts of cash, and a receipt for a Rolex watch worth just under £10,000, but the total amount of cash found at Mendes' house was just under £14,000. Anderson's home in Middleton was searched, and police found a cash, cocaine, cannabis, and a Mercedes van parked in front of the house with the hidden compartments in the floor. In the compartment were a pair of scissors, tape, and a sat-nav, and it could only be opened by a silver magnet on a hook. Also found were disposable gloves, burner phones, and digital scales. The total amount of cash found in Anderson's home was £83,000. Messages between Mendes and First Sandman showed them discussing £100,000 to be laundered, with Mendes acting as a courier and using the banknote as a token. There were discussions about receiving £170,000 in payments from other drug dealers and putting £100,000 in the stash hole in the van. Katsuon said he knew a drug dealer who wanted a kilo of cocaine. First Sandman said he could get a kilo for £45,000. This conversation was an example of Katsuon brokering an intended supply between the person he knew as a drug dealer and First Sandman for wholesale. Another conversation between Mendes and First Sandman showed him suggesting that the Vauxhall Vivaro would be the best van for the use of drug couriers, as it could carry the most drugs. In conversations between April and May 2020, Anderson discussed drug transactions worth £30,000, and later he agreed to pick up the drugs to deliver them to a customer. On May the 23rd, conversations between First Sandman and Anderson stated they had a busy weekend for drug dealing and had received £41,000. In his police interview, Anderson made no comment. Dobbie of Burnley was arrested later, and during a search of the house, officers found keys to a Range Rover and a BMW. The BMW was parked 8 houses down the road on a driveway to a vacant house, and inside was £37,000 in bundles of cash. Other items found included a diamond ring, designer clothing, and a BB gun. The total amount of cash seized was £62,000. Conversations between Dobbie and First Sandman showed them discussing a payment of £41,500 for a kilo of coke, with Dobbie making reference to the boss's nickname of Piano, as he only sold keys. In other conversations, he sent First Sandman a picture of a block of cocaine, and the pair discussed the quality of the drug, in which Dobbie said it was bang on. So Dobbie was jailed for 12 years after admitting offences of conspiracy to supply Class A drugs and possession of criminal property. Anderson was jailed for 11 years and 10 months, and Mendes was jailed for 10.5 years. And there's a Proceeds of Crime Act hearing which is set for May the 27th this year. Detective Constable Coulson of Greater Manchester Police's Serious Organised Crime Group said, "Following 4 months of investigative work and intricate analysis of the EncroChat data, our detectives were able to identify all 3 men as the people behind the usernames. Both Anderson and Mendes were ingrained in a highly sophisticated organised crime gang and drugs operation that was servicing a large amount of Class A drugs to multiple customers across the Northwest region. Messages clearly show they were regularly transporting several kilos of cocaine across the region, and thankfully we have been able to disrupt and dismantle this chain of criminality. These men now face a considerable amount of time behind bars, and that serves as testament to the hard work and determination of all the officers involved who have committed endless hours to this investigation. So guys, that's a new story coming from the Northwest. Let me know what you think. It's your boy GT. Keep it locked, keep it real.